welcome to day 13 of Move for Mind. We've been hitting it quite hard this week, so I thought today we're just going to have a bit of a delicious day. So lots of nice stretches, a bit of lovely movement, and just, a bit of deliciousness in yoga today. So we're going to begin on our hands and knees, finding that tabletop, and we're going to start by warming up the wrists. So I would take this one at a time, bringing one hand so that the top of the hand is facing the floor, but curling the fingers under, so you're rolling the fingers up in towards the wrist. Now notice if you're bending your elbow here, so trying to keep the elbow straight and bring the fingertips in towards the wrist. It's quite intense, but use the breath. If you do want to take both at the same time, obviously you can do so. Just for me, I find this one a bit tight. If you've done one wrist, making sure you're doing the other. Wah. So by separating the hands out one at a time, you can also kind of check in and see what side of the body is doing what. We tend to have one side that feels a lot stiffer or a lot harder to balance on than the other. So just taking it as far as you can, but keeping that elbow straight, trying to keep the shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale. Exhale to release the wrist, coming back into centre. Then on your next inhale, sending the right leg back parallel to the floor, lifting the left arm but bringing it in line to the hip. So you're bringing that left arm towards your left hip. Inhale here to prepare. Then exhale, bringing the right knee towards the right elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to elbow. Keeping that core in towards the spine. Inhale, extend. We've got two more here. Last one. Then keeping that right leg lifted, but bringing the left palm back to the mat. Then crossing the right foot behind the left. Oh, I've got the radiator in the way. And sending that right heel back. Now you can either keep hands in line or starting to stretch out that right hand. So almost taking a diagonal with the body. Pushing into that right hand, sending the right heel back. Inhale. Really stretching the side body. And exhale. Inhale, bringing that right hand back in, crossing the right knee behind the left knee and coming all the way down in between the legs, sitting the seat between the heels. If this is too much on the legs, you can extend that right leg out. Then inhaling, the arms come wide and then crossing the left hand underneath the right arm, and you want your elbows to cross here. If this is you, then you can stay here, maybe hugging the shoulders, or you can bend the arms. If this is you, you can stay here, maybe bringing the backs of the palms together, or maybe taking the full cross, bringing the palms together. Wherever you are, if you have this bind, inhale, the elbows up in line with the face. Exhale, sending the palms away from the face. Should have a pretty lovely stretch all across the shoulders here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale to release the bind and coming back to find that tabletop. Taking the other side, so that left leg goes back, then bringing the left leg in line parallel to the floor, and inhaling the right arm towards the right hip, keeping this right arm here. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, sending the left knee towards the left tricep. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. As high as you can get that left knee up the arm. Extend two more. Keep that navel engaged, belly to spine. Gaze to the top of the mat. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, extending that left leg out as you bring the right palm down to the mat. Then sending left toes out towards the right corner of the room. Maybe staying here, just sending that left heel back, or maybe walking the left hand forward, really finding that stretch all down the left side of the body.
Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, pushing yourself up, crossing left knee behind the right knee, and easing your way to come back, bringing the seat between the heels. Maybe bringing that left leg out long if this isn't comfortable. Inhaling both arms long. Exhale, crossing left elbow on top of right elbow, maybe just taking the hug of the shoulders, finding that stretch there, or maybe bending the elbows, bringing the back of the palms to touch, or maybe taking the full bind, bringing the palms to touch. Inhale, elbows lift in line with the face. Exhale, sending the palms away. This side may feel different. And notice if you're arching the spine here, so trying to keep a neutral spine, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae. Imagine your shoulders melting down your back as you lift your elbows up a little bit further, as you send your palms a little bit further away from the face. Inhale and exhale. Next, inhale, release. Maybe just taking the palms behind the back, sending the wrists away. Exhale, coming back to that tabletop, tucking the toes under, lifting the hips up, coming into downward facing dog. Maybe pedaling out through the feet here, taking any sort of movement that is calling to you. Just easing your way into the body, into your practice today. And bringing the right hand in the middle of the mat, in front of the face. So with your legs, you can either have the heels all the way down, legs straight, great. If you need your heels up, if you need to keep the knees bent, also fine. Just take what works for you today. But really rooting through that right hand, inhaling, the left hand comes to the outside of the right calf. And using the arm on the calf to help you spiral underneath the chest, looking up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, coming back into regular downward dog, pausing for a breath here. And bringing the left hand to the centre of the mat. And on the next exhale, sending the right hand to the outside of the left leg. And using the grip of the hand on the leg to look up and underneath that left armpit. Keeping your hips square here, so not swinging the hips round to the left. Keeping them centred. Inhale. Exhale, coming back to your Adho Mukha Svanasana. Coming back to your breath. And just know that this posture is going to look slightly different from everyone, so if you do need to keep that bend in the knees, keep the bend in the knees. Don't sacrifice the tilt in the tailbone, sending the tailbone up towards the sky. Whatever you need to do to find that extension in the spine. The heels will come down in their own time, in their own way. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, bringing the right knee to the nose, high on the ball of the left foot. Stepping right foot in between palms. Lowering left knee down. Inhale, coming up to find your low lunge. Then bringing the hands behind the head. And instead of bringing the elbows wide, bringing the elbows so you can see that you should be able to see them at the corner of your eye. And inhale, almost supporting your head as you lift your elbows up. Inhale. Exhale to release, planting both hands, stepping back into downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, bringing left knee to the nose, high on the ball of that back foot as you step the left foot in between the hands. Right knee lowers. Inhale, both arms lift, finding low lunge. Exhale, bending the elbows, taking the back of the head just gently, not gripping, not pulling, but supporting the back of the head, keeping the rib cage in. Can you lift your elbows a little bit higher? Finding that extension in the spine. Inhale. Exhale to release, hands to mat, pressing into hands, stepping back, downward facing dog. Maybe taking a moment or two to pedal out the legs. And finding that stillness, finding the length in this pose. Inhaling high onto the balls of the feet, rippling forward with the spine to find high plank. Exhale, the knees come down, The chin and the chest come to the ground, keeping the elbows in towards the body. Pausing here at the bottom, feeling the back bend, treating this as a pose in its own right. Inhale, rippling forward to find your cobra or your upward dog. Exhale, pushing back, hips to heels, hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Inhaling, the right leg lifts. Exhale, stepping the right foot up in between the palms. Inhale, sweeping both arms up, coming into your crescent lunge. Maybe just inching the right toes towards the right edge of the mat. And taking a bend in the left knee, so really engaging through that left quadricep. Once again, bending the arms. Bending the arms and taking the back of the head. Maybe thumbs come down slightly to support the neck. Maybe you interlace the hands behind the head. Then inhale, really sending the elbows up. So lifting up and out of the rib cage, keeping the navel to the spine, keeping the hips square to the front of the mat. Can you bring your shoulders further down your back? Inhale. Exhale, bringing both hands to mat. Sweeping right leg back, taking a three-legged downward facing dog. Either staying here or bending the knee and opening the hip, but keeping shoulders square to the front of the mat. Exhale, bringing right foot all the way down. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, high onto the ball of the right foot as you bring the left knee towards the nose, left foot plants. Inhale, sweeping both arms up, finding your crescent lunge. Taking a bend into that right knee. So really engaging through that right quadricep. Nice deep bend in the left knee. Inhale, extend up. Exhale, taking your hands around the back of the head. Making sure the elbows are in towards the face so you can see your elbows out the corner of your eye. Keep your navel in towards your spine. Inhale, can you send your elbows a little bit higher, finding more extension in the spine. Exhale, maybe sinking a little bit deeper into that left knee, keeping that soft bend in the right knee. Inhale. Exhale, release, bringing hands down to the mat. Inhale, sweeping the left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Maybe bending that left knee, maybe opening the left hip. Keeping both shoulders square to the top of the mat. Inhale. Exhale, bringing the left foot down to the mat, finding downward facing dog. Inhale, high onto the balls of the feet, deep bend in the knees, look up between the palms, and just take as many little steps to the top of the mat as you need, finding your way into Uttanasana, your forward fold. And keeping the torso heavy, slowly, slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, rolling all the way up to come into standing. Sorry, Saffie is loving this. You might be getting some snoring noises. Bringing your toes to touch, heels slightly apart, or bringing feet hips distance apart. Inhale, rolling the shoulders up and away from the ears, finding your Tadasana, mountain pose. Now bending your right knee, bringing the right elbow towards the right thigh, inhaling, the left arm lifts up towards the ceiling. Really spiraling the chest to the left side of the room. Inhale. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, hands to hips, coming back up to standing. Next, inhale, bending into the left knee, bringing the left elbow towards the left thigh. Then on your next inhale, the right arm lifts up, taking the twist. Finding that stretch all down the outside of the right hamstring. Inhale. Exhale, coming down, bringing hands to hips. Inhale, standing all the way back up. You can take this variation again, maybe taking a block. Inhale to find your Tadasana. Exhale, folding over the legs, bringing right hand to the brick, taking a nice deep bend into that right leg. Inhale, the left arm lifts up towards the sky. Finding that twist, finding that stretch all down the back of the left leg. Inhale. Exhale, bringing left hand to the brick, Nice deep bend in the left leg, straightening the right. Inhale, right arm goes up towards the ceiling. Finding that stretch all down the right hamstring. Inhale here. Exhale, folding back down. Bringing the torso over the legs, finding that forward fold. And on your next inhale, slowly, slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, rolling all the way up, coming back to find your Tadasana, that mountain pose. Feet together at the top of the mat. And inhale, taking a big step out, whoop, keeping your balance if you can. So you're in line with the long edge of the mat. Pivoting the feet so that the right toes are pointing up towards the right side of the mat, and turning the left toes so they're at a 45-degree angle. Inhale, stretching the arms so you're in that T shape. And then leaning forward as far as you can, almost as if someone is pulling you with your right wrist. Exhale, bringing right hand towards the calf, and left hand goes up towards the ceiling, finding Trikonasana, triangle pose. Now you can bring hand to the calf here, you can bring hand to a brick on the outside of the leg if that also feels better. So really pushing in with the back outer edge of the left foot. You shouldn't be gripping too much with the toes here, but really strong and stable through the legs, almost like you're sending that left hip up and back, so opening out through the left hip, nice and strong through the side body, and really strong through that top arm. And for today, maybe just pushing back with that left arm, so finding more of a twist, if you have the balance here. If looking up feels bad on your neck, you can look down towards that right toe. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale to engage through the core, bringing yourself all the way back up. Bring the brick with you if you have the brick. And then simply pivoting so that the left toes face the top of the mat, right toes at that 45-degree angle. Inhale, extending the arms, really reaching forward over that left leg as far as you can first, sending the right hip back. Exhale, bringing left hand to the inside of the left shin. Right hand goes up towards the ceiling. Maybe your hand goes towards that brick, finding that balance, finding that stability. But really rooting down through the feet. So you're really pushing in through the outer edge of that right foot. You're engaging through that back right leg, and the hip is opening towards the right. So almost like you're peeling that right hip up and open. Inhale. Exhale, maybe sending the right hand back a little so you find more opening in the chest. Inhale. And exhale. And on your next inhale, bringing yourself all the way up, stepping right foot in to meet the left, coming to the top of the mat. Now bending the right knee slightly, so like you're just on the ball of the foot. Inhale, extending the chest. Exhale, hinging and folding halfway down. Inhale to lift. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lift, bringing hands into prayer. This time, exhale, hinging and folding, but sending that right leg back as well, finding a warrior three. Now with warrior three, we can start here. This can be your warrior three, so you don't need to be that far off the ground to be in the pose, keeping a soft bend in the left leg. Then as you find your balance, as you start to build your strength, build your flexibility, maybe starting to lift that right leg to find closer towards that capital T shape, but it's not the priority. Inhale. Exhale, bending into that left knee as you send that right foot back and down, coming into the high crescent. Just for a breath. Inhale, extending the arms. Exhale, walking the left foot out towards the left, and gently lowering right knee down towards the mat, bringing both hands to the inside of that left leg. Maybe staying high on the hands here, maybe coming down towards the elbows. Maybe taking that left hand onto the left knee, just encouraging the knee to open. Finding our lizard lunge. I love a lizard. Inhale and exhale. Now you can either stay here or walking both hands out towards the right. So coming into a super wide lizard lunge. This is almost like my crabby dog, but in the lizard version. So keeping that right knee down. Inhale. Exhale. Coming back into centre. Tucking those back toes under. And stepping back, finding your downward facing dog. Maybe taking a child's pose here, if you wish. But we're only here for a breath. So if you have taken that child's pose, coming back into downward dog. And inhale high onto the balls of the feet, deep bend in the knees, and making your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhaling, root to rise, pushing into the feet, gaze follows thumbs. Exhale to bring the pet prayer back through the heart space. Hands either side of the body, Tadasana. Inhale to bring the hands to the hips and bending into that left knee now, so the left heel comes away from the mat. Inhale to straighten through the chest. Exhale, hinging and folding over the legs, coming to that halfway point. Inhale to extend. Exhale, navel to spine and fold. Inhale, extend. Exhale, hinging and folding. Inhale to come back into centre, bringing the hands through prayer, and this time hinging but finding your way into your version of Warrior 3. So keeping a gentle bend in that right knee. This is my dodgy side, so I get much more wobbly. Really finding that extension with the spine. Can you open up through the chest? And you don't have to lift your leg that far off the floor to find this pose. Just when you start to find that stability, maybe starting to lift that left leg higher, but really engaging through that back leg. Can you keep your hips square? Inhale. Exhale to slowly bend into the right knee as you gently land back, finding your crescent lunge. Inhale here, and exhale, walking the right toes out towards the right of the mat, bending into that left knee as we slowly lower down, finding our way into lizard lunge, both hands on the inside of that right leg. Maybe you need to take a wider stance here, maybe that left knee goes back slightly. And you can stay up on the hands or maybe coming down to the elbows or bricks. Maybe bringing that right hand to the right knee, gently encouraging the right knee to open. Finding your space in this pose. Inhale. And exhale. And staying here, or walking both hands out towards the left side of the mat, finding that crabby lizard lunge. I don't know why I called it crab, but I felt like it was crab-like. So really pushing into the fingertips to send the hips further back, finding more space here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale to come back into centre, planting both hands, tucking back toes, downward facing dog. Just to release the body, finding that balance. Inhale. Exhale, bringing both knees down towards the mat. And sitting up onto the knees. You can keep the toes tucked here or untucked. We're coming into camel. I'll keep the toes tucked for now. So inhale, bringing the hands behind the back. You can either have your fingertips pointing down or fingertips pointing up. That's just personal preference. Inhale to open up through the chest. Then exhale, almost pushing your hands into your sacrum, so into your lower back, to help encourage the hips to come forward. Shoulders come in towards each other. Now you start to take your gaze backward, nice and slowly. And maybe if you feel ready, taking one hand to the heel, maybe taking the other hand to the heel, maybe releasing the head right back, finding the back bend. And stay with the breath, make sure you keep breathing in this pose. Inhale, Exhale, coming out as we came in, so taking the hands to the lower back, to the sacrum. Slowly, carefully coming all the way up, sinking the hips back down towards the heels. Allowing the nervous system to calm down, just bringing the hands onto the thighs for grounding. We're going to take one more of those. So maybe if you had your feet tucked, you can untuck the feet, bringing hands towards the sacrum. Inhale, opening up through the chest, gently encouraging the hips to come forward as the chest goes up and over an imaginary beach ball as the head comes back. Maybe taking one hand to the heel, the other hand to the heel. And really finding the support of the hands on the feet to open up through the chest here. Your head does not have to go all the way back if that doesn't feel good for the neck, but keep sending those hips forward and keep breathing. Inhale, bringing hands back towards the hips, easing yourself up, sending the hips back to the heels, and this time making our way into our child's pose. Rolling the forehead from side to side. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more like this, in through the nose, flat, and out through the mouth. Go. If you'd like to come into traditional Shavasana after this pose, maybe taking a few twists if you have the time, then I encourage you to do so. But I will leave you here. Thank you for your energy, thank you for your practice today and for joining me on the mat. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Namaste.